Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Apologies about not getting our daily update video out on time yesterday. We did do it a bit later on, but it was an important one. We've been really, yesterday's video was very, very technical. We were not only looking at Bitcoin, but we were looking at the broader sort of landscape, the broader market, you know, the stock market, the Dixie, you name it, we were looking at it yesterday. And essentially the reason we do that is to give us a reasoning to why this bear market continues. You know, are the reasons there? And if the reasons are there and technically you haven't been shown that a reversal is in place, you know, it's very probable to expect more continuation in this bear market. And that's exactly what we do expect. So we will be diving into a little bit about, you know, these are just two things that make me worried that you should be paying attention to. We spoke about the death cross. We've already done a video on this where we looked at this 3-day death cross and we've said, look, essentially, whenever you've had one of these prior, and we will be getting into a little bit of news, although there's not a massive amount of news. You could even count this one that had a bit of a delayed effect, but then did indeed sell off to that magnitude. So we can essentially account the last 3 death crosses that we had and the low points that ensued from them. So that is 52%. This, of course, is 51%. This one here is 57%. And then we've literally just had a death cross just before we spilt from this grind line. You know, are we looking at a 50% correction potentially taking us under 10K? Now, I'm not here to speculate that that is or isn't the case. Personally, I think that, is that likely? You know, I constantly get asked, what price prediction are you giving for Bitcoin at the bottom of the market? I really have no idea. It's really about being a observer and watching for structure that dictates that potentially, you know, things might be changing. We're also a big advocate of understanding liquidity, what it is and why it's so important. Liquidity is just money. And I believe that given where interest rates are now, if they remain there, so that's, and people will be talking about a pivot even if they don't up it again. But if interest rates remain where they are, I still think that's detrimental, let alone go up by even a 25 or 50 basis points from where they are. I think the stress on the system that is currently in place with the rate hikes that we have, with this massive debt that is just, you know, unpayable. We all know it's unpayable, which is irrelevant because that's years down the line. But where we are right now, that debt has all become very, very expensive. And this is, you know, why we believe markets ultimately, until they start to lower rates again, or until we see good evidence to suggest that they're going to lower rates and we see structure setting up in the charts, there's no reason for us to flip bullish here. And in actual fact, you know, we've just looked at the MACD. Yesterday, I did a video where I essentially said, look, to me, we will not use the 4-hourly chart. What am I thinking? You have this grind line here. Grind lines are very, very important, guys. Any sort of people that want to become market technicians, definitely something you should study. But to me, it kind of looks like we're just here potentially. Or if you want to be a little bit fairer, you could say that we're down here, but I think you're more probably here given your recent sort of price action in regards to where you're going. You know, this is what we looked at in yesterday's video, so apologies for those of you that have already watched it, although it's a good recap before we get on to some other things. But if we take this bar pattern, you know, first of all, just look at the structure without the bar pattern. You can see it's very, very similar. But if we actually go ahead and overlay this, are we going up or down? Yep. You know, you can see just actually how similar these are. And this is essentially where I think you're at, you know, and you've got these lower prices to be had. So are we looking at sub 10K Bitcoin? It's possible. I kind of feel like you'll get people holding the market up before then. However, that's just a feeling. Really, it's up to what the market does, and we'll react accordingly. But as of right now, guys, we still see further downside for the crypto market with everything going on with FTX and elsewhere. You know, it just seems like there's too much stacked against a rally being sustained. So it doesn't mean we don't have a rally. In actual fact, potentially, I think you could be looking at maybe. We'll do a little bit of short-term TA, something like this. So you are setting up structure here. You know, you're coiling up, you're putting a concession of lower lows in, and you put it, or higher lows, sorry, and you're putting a concession of lower highs in. So you're compressing here. For me, though, if you are going to take a long, you need to be extremely careful. You need to watch the other markets. Potentially you're just setting up some sort of a symmetrical triangle, and these typically are trend continuation patterns, which will, continue in the direction of an already established trend, which is down. So that's very, very probable. You're also capping here. So you need to, if you want the confirmation that you may see that upside, you need to do something like this and start to push and take out highs. And then you can worry about coming here. Maybe you get that as a retest before you then get that slam down. So this is all situations we're looking at, but in terms of it from an investment point of view, which is what I keep reiterating to you guys, we are not invested. I stay on at my Patrons about this. And not just are we not invested, we're very much, we don't want to be involved in anything that's got serious risk to it, like the sort of FTX contagion, which we saw now with Gemini. Just the other day, 25,000 Bitcoin have been withdrawn from Gemini over the last 24 hours, 13% of the total BTC on the platform. So is there something to be taken from that? Potentially. We're not going to speculate. We know that their Genesis trading arm, so the Genesis Earn arm of Gemini Earn arm of Gemini, essentially, they are not going to be able to pay their customers back or have halted it due to liquidity issues. This was an interesting one for anybody who wants a sort of short breakdown of the FTX lawsuit and the bankruptcy filing. This is from Gurgavin. Gurgavin is well worth a following. I follow him really for sort of stock market takes and opinions. He also puts some great spaces on. But this is crazy, some of the stuff that is coming out here, ladies and gentlemen. This is related party loans received of 4.1 billion at Alameda Research. Consisted primarily of a loan by EU Clyd Way Limited to Paperbird. So it's essentially revealing all of the shenanigans, like the personal expenditures, the shenanigans that went on between Alameda Research, that Alameda Research got paid and before anybody else. FTX had like 400 million unauthorized transactions. Just insane. And it's very clear now that FTX were essentially using customer money to trade and to make bets and to sort of further their endeavors and boost their market cap. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, and we've seen the sort of fallout of that. The problem that we've got is we've kind of got to pick up the pieces now and look for some sort of road to redemption, I guess. Not for Sam Bankman-Fried. That guy does not deserve redemption, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I still hear people talking about buying the FTT token. FTX is dead. FTX is going to zero, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I don't know why people would buy into something like that. It's like the Luna fiasco. Luna failed, literally failed, and everyone was talking about buying it. Insane. What are you hoping, that people's memories are that weak that they forget this stuff in the next bull market and you can capitalize off a quick buck? I mean, I don't understand why you'd gamble like that. But anyway, it's just my take. We've got US crypto investor sues FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried company celebrity endorsements. So this is the thing that I'm also seeing on Twitter at the moment, is you're getting a lot of self-righteous people coming out that promoted the likes of BlockFi, that were sponsored by them, that took money off them, FTX, all, acting offended and how horrific this is, even though they are the very propagators of it. And to be honest with you, FTX, I actually never thought FTX was a bad exchange to trade on. The reason I never really traded on FTX is because of where I live in the UK. They don't offer derivatives to people within the UK. So it didn't make sense for me to have money on the platform. But from a trading point of view, I have dabbled with it, and it wasn't a bad platform by any stretch of the imagination. However, we're talking about the UI here. We're not talking about what was going on behind the scenes with all these shenanigans and how, I mean, just weird stuff. I saw something on Joe Rogan where it's talking about there was 10 of them that lived in a polyamorous relationship. Not that I'm judging anyone for doing that. I'm just saying there was a lot going on that was a little bit fruity. Let's just leave it at that. So that's really all I've got for you this video, guys. Just a technical one. Nothing really to report other than what we've been saying. We're ultimately just sat here waiting for downside, and I think that the odds are very much stacked in the favor of continuation to the downside. It's very choppy at the moment. It's annoying, frustrating from a trading point of view. We really want trending markets which are easy to catch. but we get what we're given. All I've got for you in this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, like as always, appreciate so as a comment, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a wonderful Thursday, guys.